After the ball is over, after this game is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 437. Today is Saturday, January 16th, 2021, as we are recording.
Keep talking at casual.
I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We'd like to welcome you to the Fun in the Woman Cave. We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you're new, we're glad you found us, and we hope you see something that you will like, so you will continue to join us. If you are returning, my hair is a mess. We always like to see you back. If you are new or returning and still in the shadows, please feel free to join us officially on our YouTube channel here by pressing the little subscribe button and hitting the little bell so you can get notifications. And maybe even in our home group, which is phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and that's where all of our alongs and all of the support and all the fun stuff happens. You want to be eligible for prizes and giveaways and things, that's generally where that happens. So that's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. We'd love to see you there. Just say you want to join in the group, and one of us will let you in, either myself, Talia, or one of our lovely moderators. Mm-hmm. We just want to make sure it's not about a bot or something, okay? Let's see.
I'm counting through my products.
Yeah, we're going to have to count so we see who does tea first, because I think I know, but I don't. So let me see here. Counting will commence. So if you're counting, we apologize in
I have about
advance.
12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I thought I had more than that. I guess I have 9. Okay, 1.
So I guess I probably shouldn't work on my yellow sweater during the podcast.
4, 5, 6.
You can get worked on after the podcast.
7, 8, 9. Okay, I have 9. All right.
So obviously I'm going first with my projects and with my tea. Now most of my projects are going to be very
well, just tea. We're not going to do projects yet.
No, I know. I'm just saying in general. I just think it's funny. I just noticed that you're not pulling the mini-me hairstyle. Mom's been copying my braid flipped up style for a while lately.
Not copying.
Copying.
I'm not in the mood for you.
You're not in the mood. Wow.
I'm not in the mood. Let you carry the podcast while I sleep.
Yes, that'll work so well before my migraine medicine finishes kicking in. Okay. So, all I want is to hug all the bunnies mug is my purple package of the month. I think this is my last one for a little while because I had Plum Deluxe has this awesome thing that if you aren't able to for whatever reason, or if you just need to catch up on the tea that you haven't drunk, you can put your subscription on hold. You still get your perks, but you just aren't getting tea actively for like a certain amount of time.
And
I've done this a couple times with when I've had issues with
cash flow.
Yeah.
Andy is amazing, and if you haven't tried Plum Deluxe and you want to, you should. Mm-hmm. They've got a couple different subscriptions. Some are 2 teas a month, and one is 1 tea a month, I think. Is that
and then
right?
they also have a third one now, which you don't have to get you get like a smaller package.
Right.
This is the smaller package one.
That's 1 ounce as opposed to 2 ounces.
I think. So it's like you get either 2 2-ounce ones,
1 2-ounce one,
1 2-ounce one, or 1 1-ounce one, I believe is what it is. And this is the 1 ounce.
Unfortunately, he doesn't do outside of the United States, but he's amazing.
But they're very flexible.
Yes, they
Plum
are.
Deluxe Tea hand blended fresh with Purple Heart, plumdeluxe.com. For some reason, I felt like saying the Purple Heart.
Purple Hearts.
Wonder Mint black tea. Get excited about the possibilities ahead. This is black tea, raspberries. I wonder if some places actually pronounce the P. Raspberries.
It might.
Peppermint, raspberry leaf, safflower, raspberry essence.
Something wrong with you.
How's caffeine? Ow.
Laughing hurt you that much?
Huh?
Laughing hurt you that much?
My head doesn't like laughter right now. Once the medicine kicks in, I won't
I think
mind.
they should give you a new head.
I kind of agree, but I think the rest of my body needs replaced too. Oh, I'm sorry, needs to be replaced.
Yes, thank
It
you.
really bothers her.
I didn't spend 12 plus years teaching you to have you speak and drop your words. This
I'm not sure if I added enough sugar.
This is new.
Yeah. It's very raspberry. Or raspberry.
It smells like it. It smells kind of like when you go in berry picking.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I didn't mix the sugar enough, or it's not as sweet as I...
Not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm thinking I didn't add enough sugar. I wonder if I only added 1 instead of
You might
2.
have. It almost tastes like the leaves instead of the berries.
I don't know, I think I didn't add enough sugar.
Could be. And this is this is what my daughter's head looks like, and that is an oboe for those of you who are new, and you can ask if you want to know what that means, because we've explained it several times, so I don't want to bore people. If you want to know it, you can ask us, or ask somebody in the podcast. This is my maple chai tea, Plum Deluxe, hand blended with Purple Heart, plumdeluxe.com. Refreshing, invigorating, and just wonderful. Black tea, oolong tea, apple pieces, cinnamon chip, cardamom, ginger, clove, safflower, maple syrup extract. Love, gratitude, has caffeine. Good. Okay. See? I'm almost done with that one. So I really like this tea. And there we go. That's getting better now that the flavors are starting to melt a little bit. I love his teas, but we definitely have certain favorites, as everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes care of that.
Yes, it does.
Now, moving.
Oh, bada bean.
Oh, you're about to be. I had a 70 calorie Fiber One bar today because I'm not sure what we're doing today. Whether it's going to rain, if we're going to get a walk in, or what. So.
Right, and today's probably going to be a low activity day for me, so I figure 100 calories snack. So this is bada bean. It's just a normal salt one.
Is that the sea salt one?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. I like that one. I think it's one of my favorites, actually.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to our alongs.
I really like the mustard and onion one.
I haven't tried that one.
I think sweet mustard or sweet onion and mustard or something like that.
Okay, PHN Ready Set Go Cal Lao 2021 is off and running, and we're about 2.5, 3 weeks in. This lasts for 3 months. So it started January 1st and ends March 31st at midnight going into the next day. So at 12:01 a.m. on April 1st, we are done. No previous whips are allowed in this Ready, Set, Go. Okay, this is where you start all the things. For the month of January only, so you have about 2 weeks, give or take, left to be able to frog projects and have them be counted for a chance at a prize. What you need to do is you need to show the project before it was frogged, and then right next to it, the frogged yarn. Okay, that will count for one chance at a prize. If you start another project with that frogged yarn, then that's eligible. That obviously is eligible for another chance at a prize as you do your whips. But when you have the finished object, that's 2 chances at a prize. You just have to let us know that, hey, at this time we ripped this and now we use this and it's a finished object. Okay, so whip something that was ripped out in January and finished before the end of the along gets out of that same yarn gets 2 chances at a prize.
You know, I think as it sits, the flavor's going to get better. I wonder if it'd be better as an iced tea.
Possibly. And usually a lot of those berry ones are. Chatter and pictures are all on the same thread. Whatever you decide to knit, loom knit, or crochet is acceptable, but please, if the project uses 50 yards or less, please pair it with another project, okay? One per project per week, the FO whenever it's finished. We do have prizes already set aside for this, so you guys are going to have some nice things that you can win. Any Franciscan Gypsies design FO, any FO in my Lady Fernico Creations yarn or in my one pattern, any Laura Concert designs FO or yarn that is Lollipop Girl yarn. If you use that and finish the project, that is 2 chances at a prize. And if you use either of those 2 yarns with a featured pattern, mine, Talia's, or Laura's, then you get 3 chances at a prize for the finished object. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me or Talia or the moderators. Talia's not a good person to get in touch with, so maybe me or one of the moderators.
Either it's because I'm not feeling well, or when I am feeling well, I kind of go on a design binge or something. And
we have really good moderators,
Yeah.
and we also have people who we call quasi-moderators who've been
Yes.
with us forever,
Ever.
and they also know what's going on. So just ask somebody; they'll be more than happy to help you. Okay. Now, let's see here.
I feel like I listen to a song forever and ever.
It is.
What song is that?
I don't remember. It's hashtag PHN Ready Set Go 2021 on Instagram for the hashtag. And our prizes: we have a project bag with clear sides. It's one project bag, one prize, and Caron Simply Soft, one light green and one darker green, also the second prize, okay? And I'm just going to talk over you when you talk because I'm not in this brain space where I can get sidetracked and remember where I'm at. So,
Rude.
yes, well, no, it's more rude to
Contradict you? Wow.
interrupt. PHN Christmas all year long, Cal Lao 2021. That is also going strong. That's a year long.
You're not you when you're hungry.
I'm not hungry.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
are. You want a bean.
Just give me a second here. Thank you. Okay, now this is a new along for us. Christmas all year. You know that we have for the last 3 or 4 years have been doing year-long Cal Lao. The first 2 are for Tea and Tails. Last year was Charity Along. This year it's Christmas all year long. All right, and I'm not going to go over all the rules because we don't need to know all the rules. Most of them are the same as the other alongs, but I will touch on things that need to be mentioned. This one runs January 1st, 2021 till 12:01 a.m. January 1st next year. It'll close down at midnight on December 31st, okay? Let's see here. Okay, this one does allow previous whips, but must be worked on during the along. Same featured patterns and featured yarns, with the caveat here that because not everybody celebrates Christmas, we have the option to do it as a gift. But if you do it as a gift, either a gift to yourself or out of gifted yarn or something like that, you're giving it as a gift to somebody, birthday, baby shower, Hanukkah, whatever you're doing, that has to be in the Christmas colors. And we have 8 Christmas colors. We have red, green, silver, gold, blue, pink, and purple. I think there's one more. White. So those are the colors. You have plenty of colors to choose from, shades of those colors that, if you are not doing a Christmas gift per se, use one of those colors. Things that you would normally put in charity would be considered gifts, okay? If you do it at Christmas time, then it's a Christmas thing. You say this is a Christmas gift, and you won't have to do Christmas colors. But if you're doing it during the rest of the year, there has to be one of those colors predominantly.
Well, of course, you're planning to give it to the charity, I guess, at Christmas time.
That's what I just said.
Well, I mean, it's not, you didn't finish it at Christmas time instead, but you're holding it for Christmas time.
Right. Well, that's a Christmas gift.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So,
Just wanted to clarify that.
so you make it confuse me. You messed me up. Let me think. What was I saying?
Christmas colors, gift at Christmas time.
We have the same featured patterns and featured yarns. We are also going to allow 2 chances at a prize for things going to Operation Christmas Child, to Brittany, and to Kim at Amelia House. Okay, so those are the 3 charities. was going to say the pregnancy center, but I guess we did that last time. We'll talk about the pregnancy center later. We'll figure that one out. But we want to make sure Brittany's stuff has to be mentioned who it's going to. Brittany's stuff, Operation Christmas Child, or Amelia House. And then if we decide the pregnancy center, you know what? Add the pregnancy center. That's the fourth one. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have 4 featured charities that are for featured objects, and you know how that works. Okay. Let's see. That's basically it for that. We have 4 quarters for this. Looney Hiker donated a copy of her Cassie Nicole hat, which is a really nice hat, and it's a really generous gesture. We appreciate that. Thank you,
Yes.
Pat. And you will get in touch with her. The winner will get in touch with her when that is pulled. And then 2 skeins of Cloudborn cotton yarn in taupe. So that was donated by Fiber Hermit, who's Margaret. Thank you very much. And we do have all the other prizes pulled as well, but we're not going to go into that right now. All right. And somebody had mentioned that Rena, I think it was. Thank you, Rena, for your very sharp eyes. My fingers got a little too fast and I flipped my letters. This is, let me see if I remember what I put down for the hashtag so I don't mess it up here. Hashtag PHN Christmas All Year 2021. So it's PHN Christmas All Year 2021 on Instagram. Now, I had mistyped it. I have since, thanks to Rena, corrected it. Okay, so it's PHN Christmas All Year 2021. All right, so that's that. And the last along we have is a 2-month, which we don't usually do. We sometimes do that if, something from my design, my yarns or Talia's designs or something like that. This one was something that we're going to incorporate at the end of the year from now on. This year you get to have it twice, at the beginning and at the end, because it's meant to finish all the things and it's meant to be in November and December. But because Wombat of Doom got us just as the year was ending, we decided to do 2 of them this year. So we have this one in January, February, and then we'll have it again in November, December. This is PHN Out with the Old 2020, so that's for last year. In November, December will be 2021. This year's 2020, all right? And this is for finishing all the things. So if you've got things that you want to work on, when you're going through and doing the Ready, Set, Go, and you decide not to pull it out, you say you want to work on it, that's where you put these. These things cannot be new. They have to be already started, okay? So, and then everything else is pretty much the same, all right, for this, including the fact that if you have something that happens to have my yarn or it's a Talia's pattern, if it has either the featured yarns or featured patterns is what you're working on, then the same, what's the word I'm looking for? The same multiple chances that a prize will apply, for the finished object of a featured pattern or yarn, or a featured pattern with the featured yarn. It has to be already started though, okay? And you're responsible for your own multiple postings as always. And that has prizes of a skein of Rubber Dub White Super Chunky, I think it is. That was donated by Margaret, as was 2 skeins of Peyton's Canadian Chunky, and that's a green. Those are 2 green skeins. Those were both donated by Margaret. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And this is for 2 winners. Okay. All right. So we go into rough drafts.
Okay, so I know I do it to double. Let me just take out, I have a knot in my yarn. Somehow or another, it got itself knotted. There we go. Fixed. Alright, so it's going to be a show of bags for a little bit. I have 2 bags to show at this point, and I think from then on we're every other. Let me just make sure this is a design.
You had 12?
11?
Oh, 11. Okay.
So, this is my Oops Christmas bag by Silvershed USA that Devine did the artwork for, and this has a design in progress. I can say what kind of design. It's a cow, using some yarn that Mom gave me for Christmas. Casca Amontillado.
Yeah, it's my yarn.
The Grandmother's House We Go, and then
Bare Necessities.
Bare Necessities, and it's in this silk blend. So, this has got some progress on it. This is the design that I spent a lot of last week writing. Actually, The last week and the week before, I think. I spent a lot of it writing it.
I think you have to do 2 twice in a row.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
And the other one is one that I've been working on for a while. Then I made quite a bit of progress yesterday, and then I realized that I didn't pay attention to my own chart. I think I was starting to work on the beginnings of the migraine, or at least some of the fatigue that can precede it. So I had to think back and got almost to where I was. So this is my Christmas ornament that's been in the works since before Christmas.
Brittany bag.
Yes, in the Silvershed USA or Christmas ornaments bag that Brittany gave me, and this always holds Christmas ornaments in it.
Okay. My first one you haven't seen in a while, and I actually didn't work too much on it. I was working on it while I was talking to Talia, and I realized, oh wow, I'm decreasing every stitch. Okay. So this is in my, I had to think back.
At least you caught yourself while you were doing it this time.
Yeah. Mama C's words bag, and that's not that one. It's this one. Okay.
Sorry about the allergies.
This is Lady Caprice from the Terra the Sea Turtle pattern, the yarn by Talia, and the yarn is this is the Yarn and Us yarn. That's Cappy in the Lady Fernico colorway, and this is Villainous, and that is Dragonfly Fibers, the original Dragonfly Fibers, and this is Tangerine Speedo by Marigold Jen. You can't get Marigold Jen anymore, and it's up in the air whether or not we can get Villainous again from Dragonfly.
Yeah, I don't know what colors they ended up crossing over.
Yeah, because they...
Or if it'll look the same with the different dyer.
with the different dyers. So this is Tara's shell. I only did like a half a row. Not even half a row. I think I made, a couple of not rounds, but repeats.
Yeah.
So this is... I'm enjoying this. I have more of this yarn that Cappy gave me for the shawl she developed for one of our longs.
You're going to start stuffing pretty soon.
Pretty soon I do have to start stuffing. I am rebelling at any form of color work. You guys saw the little palm puppy that Talia did. I could finish that in half an hour or an hour, but I'm at the color work. It's this tiny bit of color work. I'm like, nope. So I will do it. I don't mind doing color work. I just don't feel like doing it now. So this is this, and this is going to be...
It's a good thing for all your turtles that you're doing color work for them.
Well, no, I still have to do color work. That's why they're all without heads.
Oh, I didn't realize you didn't do heads for any of them.
No, not for any of them, because I wanted to see how this yarn worked up, and then it's really nice the way...
Now you're committed to the heads, though.
I know. And I'll do them.
Eventually, they're going to be headless turtles.
Turtles forever.
Ever.
This, they're related to the Headless Horseman. This Villainous is really close to this green in Cappy's yarn. It really works well. I'm really happy with that. And then Marigold Jen's orange is very close as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really... Can you see that?
Yeah, I think they can.
So yeah, I will, when I just... I don't know. I just feel blah. So I think I need a new project because I don't have enough.
Didn't you start new projects?
Yes.
Are you already bored with them?
I'm bored with everything. No, I'm not. I don't get bored. I don't know. Whoops.
Inui. Is that how? I always used to want to think it was pronounced Inui, but I think it's Inui.
Inui.
Yeah. What Sherlock Holmes always would say.
Yeah.
Dramatically as he did his drugs.
Yes. Cocaine. It was heroin or cocaine? It was cocaine, wasn't it?
It was cocaine.
Yeah.
I
don't think he dabbled too much with heroin.
I'm pretty sure it was cocaine.
Opium.
He went
to the opium den to not take it.
Usually it was because he had a case, and I'm thinking one particular case.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Watson was already married to Mary at that point. But anywho, next project.
I needed the caffeine, I think. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just kind of...
Were you in pain?
This morning I was, but not this last night. Last night I just got to bed like 11:30 or 11 o'clock, whatever it was.
I didn't
That's late for
late.
me. Well, our movie didn't end till 10, and they had to do the cupcake things. And
oh. You went to bed after I did then.
Well, I went to sleep after you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is in my Silvershed USA Peanuts Christmas bag. This is the Davina Christmas stocking. Mom got the blue that she really wanted to get. I can at least show not what I'm doing, but maybe the yarn.
And you've changed the stuff around a little, right?
Yeah. Well, they don't know what the pattern's not at all what the one Because the other one is not my pattern.
Oh, that's right.
So, there
It
we
did
go.
come out well. Good.
Yeah, look, it's very different. It's exactly what I needed. So, I started out with the light blue and the silver bells. And I know you probably wrote the names on the things. I just haven't looked
Yeah.
at it.
I think I called the light blue cornflower, and I forgot what I called the darker blue.
I'll take a look at my ball band eventually because I'll need to write it in the pattern. But yeah, that got started. I actually did quite a bit of work on that. Oops, there's a bunny. Hang on. That's going to explode if I don't pick it up.
You have to get one anyway.
No, I did one.
Yeah, we had to do another one because
No, I did.
you had
actually.
11. If you had 10, okay. All right, well, I'll go.
If I have to, I'll do a double at the end, but I think I'll be fine.
I can't math this morning. Anyway, in my Mickey Mouse bag. There it is. In my
Let's see.
Mickey Mouse bag.
Oh, I'm sorry, TMNB.
Are we
Sorry,
finished?
I sat on a bunny.
I don't. It's a toy.
You would apologize to,
Not when you were
Felicia.
talking. I wouldn't. Anyway, spoiled bunny stomp scarf.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I think so because I'm gonna stomp my foot if you don't stop interrupting me. In my Ploverbird Mickey Mouse bag is my spoiled bunny stuffed scarf from the Sarah Bell scarf pattern by Sarah Sweethearts, and I'm using an eye hook and test designer yarn in superwash merino worsted. And I have no idea what the colorway is for this, but I do like the way it's working up. I did do most of it on the podcast last week. I tend to do this on the podcast and don't do it at the rest of the week.
Well,
But look at that.
she'll probably end up working on it as soon as she finishes showing it to you, because that's just the way she rolls.
If my hand
well, you don't always
sore.
realize you're doing it.
Well, my hand is very sore. It's starting to ease up a little bit now. The weather has affected my hands today. So
They're claiming that we might even see a little bit of flurries within the rain.
right.
So,
I really like this pattern. As you guys know, I often have multiple versions of this on the hook, and this is really no exception. So
right. Alrighty, so it's my turn. Let's see, the next one I can't show you is this one. I did a lot of designing this week. Okay, so in my Silvershed USA Bat Signal bag is another design I can't show you. Whee! Bag show. Your turn.
okay. All right. In my
Don't you guys love it when I'm design heavy?
All right, this is in my Universal Studios canvas bag. I didn't do a whole lot of work on this one. I don't remember working on this, but I guess I must have. This is my Ninja Turtle Baby Blanket project from the Ninja Turtle Baby Blanket pattern by Lisa Vanilla. And this is all Brava Sport. And
The
as
days sort of blend together, so it's hard to remember what was last week or the week before.
I don't remember working on this. I must have, but I don't remember.
We mark our show notes as we go because of the fact that we don't remember by the time we read the podcast.
So I have to finish Mikey's mask, and then I can edge this and do the eyes if I decide to do that. I think I am going to, otherwise it's kind of a not,
Well, yeah, they kind of need their eyes.
they kind of need their eyes. So Mikey's the orange, the purple is Donatello, the blue is Leonardo, and the red is Raphael. And those are the 4 turtle brothers, the Ninja Turtles, if you're not aware of that. So, because not everybody, watches that kind of stuff.
Not
You can-
everybody lives.
So you can see that those are the 4 colors.
It's
And
kind of like Harry Potter. Like most people know the reference.
so you've got the green in between to represent the actual turtles, and then you've got the different colors of their bands, and then I am going to edge this with yellow to pull in April O'Neil. Mm-hmm. And she's a friend of theirs who is not a turtle.
Right. April might be a bit, if you're not familiar with it, but like, I think that most people at least know the names of the turtles and maybe the colors.
And Casey is more of a... I'm not even sure Casey's has actual comics. I'm
yeah,
not
he's
sure.
in the comics.
He is?
At least the one I read.
Okay. I know he's in some of the cartoons.
No, I'm not sure if they pull him into the comics sort of as he became popular in the movies,
Right,
and then
right.
he came into the comics, kind of like a Harley Quinn thing.
I liked both renditions of Casey in the shows.
It
in
was
the movie,
so weird seeing Arrow as Casey in the more recent movie.
Is that who that was? The guy?
Yeah, he plays Oliver in
Okay.
Arrow.
Yeah. Okay. I actually liked him in that role.
I think he gained a little weight by the time. No, he's about the same.
And then I like the guy they had in the 80s or 90s movie, the one with
Oh, with the long scraggly
the long
hair.
straw. He kind of worked as well as a kind of a in that rendition
Skater boy.
skater boy type of thing. Yeah, he was a hockey boy, and they did keep the hockey because apparently that's a thing for him.
Yeah,
Hockey.
that's the character thing.
yeah.
Thing.
So anyway,
Wasn't there a poem for Casey Jones at bat? Wasn't that like a baseball?
Casey at the bat.
Okay, I like memorized that as a kid. But it was his
Mighty
last name
Casey
was. I thought his
struck
last name
out.
was Jones or something.
Maybe Casey
Strikes out.
he struck out or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Yeah, because it's all about building up the tension about oh he's gonna hit this home run and he was thinking
Yeah.
about it so much he struck out.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywho,
There was no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey had struck out.
that's right. I haven't thought of that poem in forever.
Mhm.
Okay, so sorry, I had to get this bag out of its hiding space. Come here, bag. Yeah, you're a good bag. There we go. In my Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival bag is one of my baby blanket designs. So this has been getting a little bit of work.
I have to take this off for a second because I'm getting hot and I need to
Take off the layer.
pull the sleeve up. No, I can't take off the layer. It'd be
Oh.
scandalous.
Oh, okay.
Everybody would run away screaming.
I did not realize that you didn't layer.
I don't layer with this. It's too hot.
I always layer.
Okay. My next one is in my Plover Bird large teacups on a red bag. This is kind of a maroony bag. This is another Cerebel. And this is a Walk in the
It's
Woods
shocking.
stole. Yes, it's shocking. This is a Walk in the Woods stole project from the Cerebel Pattern by Sarah Sweethearts. And this is Spinway Farms yarn. It's a giant skein of about 840 yards of non-super wash wool. I really like this. And like I said, you can see the difference in the way this is working up in terms of the way... I'm going to lose my stitch if I'm not careful here. Let me just pull this loop a little bit. There. See this one, and I showed this last week. You see the definite kind of zigzag here. And this one is definitely more mottled or more like a camouflage. It's really
Modeled,
pretty.
MOTTLED, not modeled, MODLE.
That's what I said. Why would I say the other?
I don't know, I just felt like I'd,
Let me put this here so it doesn't...
emphasize it.
And the thing is, I don't know if I've been working on this more or maybe this is just what I don't know. But this is 840 yards, but I think I'm further on this ball of yarn than I am on the other. And this is more yarn. This is fun to work. It's very restful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm just going to go to the end of the yarn.
Do it.
It's just really... And there's going to be two ends to weave in, and that's it, which makes me extremely happy. I mean, just look at that.
Whichever end is longer ends up being the long end of your stole.
What?
Well, the stole that ends up being is a stole, right?
Yeah.
Whatever ends longer ends up being.
Oh
the
yeah.
way
There's
the
no.
span.
There's no doubt about it because, I'm going this way, so it's gonna be longer. It gets longer as I go.
Okay.
Oh, I see. I have to weave in here because I had
Did your yarn split?
it split, so you can see if you look at the yarn.
I hate
here,
when it frays like that.
it frayed. And let me just show you here a little closer. Can you see
Yeah, I think
the yarn
the
with
one end.
splits? The one end, and both ends are like that. The other one's down here. So it's split, and I had to tie it there, so I'm going to have to weave that in. But, this yarn will felt, and if I wash it gently, and the rest of it won't felt, but that might felt, so it won't do any damage. But
Well,
this
I mean,
is-
you're gonna weave it in anyway.
I'll weave it in. But, yeah. I like this pattern a lot. Let me just put this
No kidding.
back here.
You've made so many different versions of that pattern.
And I really would
Has
like
it become a blanket yet? It became baby blanket.
Baby
right?
blanket, mhm.
Yeah.
I really would like to get a hold of her because more than any other designer, even Talia included, I think, I have done her patterns.
Well, part of the problem with me is that I design a lot of things you wouldn't be interested in making.
Well, I might be interested in it, but I'm interested in having it. I'm not interested in making it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You're not necessarily interested in making the thing, particularly my knitted items.
I will do her mosaic as far as knitting goes, and I'll do her simpler things, like I'll do her baby blankets. But in terms of her more complex color work and things, no. I'm not there yet. I don't know how to fix my work. I'm working on it, but...
And also I have this love thing with seed stitch that you don't share.
Yuck. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels, but I don't like doing it.
But, okay, ouch. This one's also a design. In my... Make sure, yes, okay. In my Silvershed USA knitting, I guess knitting sayings bag is another design.
Don't let me do anything.
Well, I can't help it. I've been design heavy.
I just finished my stitch because she is so
Well, I think
inconsiderate.
we're almost through the design.
Inconsiderate.
I have one more design.
Let's see here. Okay, my next one
This
is...
last design.
Let me just... There we go.
And then
Okay.
everything else after that point is I actually show stuff.
Okay, this one I can't really show you. You've seen the original version. This is my On the Garden Path scarf that I modified from that thing I did at the bottom of the hill. And it's not anything complicated. I just modified it so it's not curling. And let's see, it's in my Silvershed USA black and blue Star Wars bag. So this one, this is the one I couldn't find last time because I couldn't remember where I put the thing in. So the colorway is this. It's James C. Brett. And it takes one skein of James C. Brett to do this scarf. And it can be a cowl or it can be a scarf. So that's that. I can't say anything more about that.
And then my final design in progress is, for right now, I could have easily started another one. But I showed some self-control. In my Silvershed USA Kitties in the News bag is the other Palm Pup, the tutorial video one. I need to finish him up so then I can record me sewing all the pieces on for the patrons.
Okay, my next
And just
one...
for the pattern in general.
Okay. My next one is in my Ploverbird pink and purple teacups bag. And this is my, what do I call it? Right now it's still called the Comfy Cozy Shawl from when I had the gray yarn. But this is from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Sattel. And I'm using Miss Babs Yowza in various shades of green. Maybe some blue in here as well. Teal, that kind of stuff. And I'm starting with the variegated, this one here, just like I did with Talia's. And so I made some progress on this. So you can see that it's, might have to block this a little bit.
And you went shopping in the yarn shop that is our home.
Mm-hmm. I took all this, because I'm trying to free up some space in my, my shelf. I have the shelf that has my shop, also has all my yarn stash. So I'm trying to clear that out a bit, so that I could have just my shop and my bare yarn there, and then put the three skeins, the three shelves I have over here, filled with my stash. But I don't know if that'll be enough room. It's
Only
a deeper,
3 shelves of stash?
well, it's deep shelves. It's deeper shelves than some of the others, and I might not be able to do that. But even if I can do it to the point where most of it's up there, but anyway, we'll see. So this is
That
it.
seems awfully optimistic.
Yeah, it does. But I had cleared away a lot of my yarn. I mean, I really don't have that big a stash anymore. I have a lot of yarn, but not... I mean, this whole thing before I started my shop was stuffed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shelves.
Well, a lot of that was acrylic.
Well, it was still stuffed. It was all stuffed there, and then this middle shelf over here had yarn in it. So I'm not sure what I had in these shelves up here. I had yarn in that one. So I had a lot of yarn. Most of it was acrylic that was over these other shelves, but I'm trying to have a stash, but not stuff that I want
You
to
had
use.
yarn above there, too.
Yeah, it's there.
This side as well.
Both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So I cleared out a lot, so... But anyway, that's that.
I am not capable of that. Now, part of it is that in order to get design, sometimes I need more yarn of one color than I have available. Or
Well, I don't have one color of a lot of things. I mean, a lot of my skeins, especially my fingering sock, or actually most of my stuff, I only have one.
right. Well, a lot of my fingering weight is from early days.
Mine too. Most of it is from or stuff that I won.
Right.
I still have that Ruse Meadow that I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It has to be something special because I won that from Spicy Homemaker. And Ruse Meadow, I love Rue from Hunger Games. So
Well, how much yardage is it? Because if it's enough for a hitchhiker, hitchhikers are fun to knit, and I would love to. It's a scarf.
I don't know. I think there's only like 380 yards.
Oh, it might not be enough for a hitchhiker.
Yeah. It's not a very big yarn because I think it has silk in it.
Okay, because that would have been nice for something like a hitchhiker. It would have been nice and cozy.
I'll have to take a look and see.
And hitchhikers, like, they go like that. Once you get into them, they're very potato chippy. But that being said, I haven't picked up my own hitchhiker because I know that I'll not want to put it down. It's also in that really pretty Marigold Jen sidewalk chalk.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a really pretty color, that deep brown.
Yeah. I have a couple of skeins of that sitting on my shelf.
Well, I think Marigold Jen ended up winning the hitchhiker battle because she had enough yardage.
Right.
But, all right, now we're going to projects where you can actually see what I'm working on. So this is my, in my Silvershed USA books bag, is my pair of bunny slippers.
Yeah.
First bunny slipper is done, except for I need to stitch the little bunny face on there. And, little bunny tail. It's calling for pom-pom tail. I'm kind of tempted to just do one of my bunny tails like I do for Oops.
I don't do that then.
Because I don't really care for pom-poms. They fall apart.
They fall apart and they get all over the place.
Yeah, they're kind of messy. So I'm thinking instead of a pom-pom. Now, granted, I could see the only benefit to pom-pom that I could see over my Oops tail is that it's on the back of your heel.
Right.
So when you're resting it in bed, the pom-pom's softer.
Right.
Whereas the Oops tail is stuffed and it's going to be this thing against the back of your heel. That's the only thing that might convince me to do a pom-pom instead. But he needs his tail.
Yeah.
He has to have one.
I mean, he could even have a flat tail. I mean, it doesn't have to be sticking out.
Yeah, but it'll look kind of stupid if it's flat.
Oh, not the way if you do it right.
So I'm at the point where I'm starting to build up the sides of the second slipper. You know, the sole is in. So yeah, then I'll be building up the sides, and then it'll be ears and tail for this guy as well. So honestly, I could have finished this if I hadn't gone design crazy. I've told myself that I can't work on designs. I can't work on non-designs except on the weekend, or if I have like a migraine or something and don't feel like working on anything. I can't focus on designs when I have a migraine. So sometimes I design heavily during migraines.
The migraine blanket.
Yes, well, migraine blanket. Let me think.
Yeah.
Bunny butt. Gosh, a bunch of them. Melissa? No, Melissa wasn't during migraine. I had a couple during migraine. Your turn.
Okay. Give me a second here. Put this away because my hand's starting to hurt. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. This one is in my Knitting's My Bag Monet bag. It's really Surratt, but that's okay. This is the Comfort Yourself with Your Music sweater. And I'm working on the gauge swatch. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do it or not, but I'm working on the gauge swatch. And I got into the stockinette section, so it's not very far. I like this gray. It's got kind of a shade of purple in it. You know,
that's
it's
nice.
not it's a slate gray, but it's got a definite kind of a purple tone to it. So you can see that I've got just started the stockinette, and I will see if I hit gauge, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I just sat there and did this. I marked off where I, make sure so it doesn't curl and which one's the right side so I don't do a garter row where I'm not supposed to.
Well, after a while, you should be able to read your knitting.
So, yeah, I can, but I don't want to have to tink back if I don't have
Yeah.
to. This is small. I can tink back pretty well, but... So that's that. And
Actually,
this is,
swatches are super good for practice. So if you even wanted to practice dropping stitches and stuff, this would be the time to do it.
well, I want to see if I get gauge first.
Because that would be a really good time. Okay, how do I read my knitting? How do I fix my knitting? You already have to make the swatch anyway.
Well, that's what they have you do in those craftsy classes is make a swatch. But anyway, so this is in the slate colorway Miss Babs yarn, and I think I have 3 in here.
Now,
of that.
all that being said, I did not do that myself. I learned on my own knitting.
Right. Well, you do what you have to do.
You do what you have to do. I'm not usually not a very cautious knitter.
That's the way I am with crochet, but not so much with knitting.
I've gotten slightly, not really cautious, but knowing a little bit more like that I can't push as much as I'd like since getting sick, 'cause I don't always have the focus.
Right. Bless you.
Sorry.
And that's another reason I don't like to do as much like knitting that might be
I apologize.
that I could do. Need help with that because I don't like to take spoons away from what you need to do to have you help me.
Sorry.
So
Thank you. Oh,
Thank
I
you for what?
apologize. Allergies for
Thank
the
you.
thoughts. Oh. That is just allergies, guys. Not a cold, nothing, not COVID, nothing like that.
No.
Okay, in my pink fake designer bag is Luz. This
That
is.
sounds so off. Why don't you just say Vera Bradley wannabe bag?
I prefer to call it fake designer
Wow,
bag.
you're mean.
He knows I love it.
No, he doesn't.
This is Luz's bag. She calls it the fake.
She's mean.
She gave you a very hurt look.
Well, she is.
And she's crying little Cyrano tears.
When you're mean, that's her own problem.
So she got a little bit of work done on her.
Which one? Which yarn is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is some Miss Babs yarn. I don't remember the colorway. It's
That's
one of the
pretty,
Maryland
yeah.
colorways.
Looks pretty on her.
Yeah. I'm not sure what else I would have done with it. I probably intended it for a turtle.
Yeah. A lot of times when we get those kind of crazier yarns, we intend it for a toy.
Because that was a little bit after I designed Tara.
Mm-hmm.
And had such success and happiness with the Maryland yarn with her.
Mhm.
So sometimes I would pick up yarns that weren't necessarily my favorite from her just in case they sparked design ideas.
Right.
All right.
Okay. I just want to put this one away.
I think we could do that like a while ago.
Well, I had to finish the row.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's
Sorry,
see.
guys.
Okay, so that's one project for next week. Yay. Okay. In my next bag, it's in my Bags by Awesome Granny Fireflies bag that I was given by Margaret, who's Fiber Hermit. Thank you very much. This is my bag and wrap from the Burrow Wrap pattern by KF Jones. And I'm using Dragonfly Fibers Traveler for this. I didn't make a whole lot of progress on this, but I did a little. I wanted to work on it, and then I got sidetracked. I'm in the middle of the row, so I can't really show you what I'm doing here. Not even in the middle. But I've started with
I
this
honestly
blue.
expected you to have more progress because you said how much you enjoy working on it.
I do, but I got sidetracked because I wanted to have more projects. I didn't realize how
Oh.
much, I didn't know how many projects I had, and I didn't want to have like 2. So, and this one is nice because it's kind of potato chippy, and I really like it. I think I told you guys last week I had to restart it because when I tried to fix it, I messed it up too much. So I kept losing the end stitches when I tried to do the slipping.
Oh, yeah.
So I just restarted it, and that's okay. That's fine. It's a fun pattern. I like it. I'm looking forward to putting other colors in. And this is also in blues and greens, which is probably no surprise. If you look at this bag, except for the orange and yellows and things like that, pinks, this is basically the colors. It's blues and greens.
Did you
So.
say who gave you the bag?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. In my Silver Shed USA Fun Words bag is Mom's poor weeping K-pop hat because it keeps wanting to get to the blue and it's being taunted. It's
Yeah.
almost there.
It's almost there.
But I think I have a feeling that I'll hit the blue right around the decreases,
Mhm.
and then like the ear flaps and stuff will be blue.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Jane hat because...
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Actually, and except the Jane hat. I'm trying to remember. No, it is very much like the Jane hat. I think the Jane hat. I have to look again at it. I had used this K-pop pattern to make myself a Jane hat because I didn't like any of the Jane hat patterns out there. And I liked the fit of this one and the look of this one, so I just adjusted it to make my own Jane hat. Eventually I should show that again on the podcast. But Mom likes wearing my Jane hats because it covers her ears and it's comfortable. And it is it's actually my most comfortable ear flap hat that I have.
And if you've been with us for a while, you know that I can't have anything past a certain part on the lower part of my head and neck. It makes me very stiff and uncomfortable. Just thinking about it makes me stiff and uncomfortable.
And
so.
this part here is just not supposed to be on the back. This is like the normal part of the hat, and then it will gain its ear flaps afterwards. So I don't even remember if there's a paid for hat or not. But yeah, it's something called a K-pop hat or something like that. So yeah, this deserves more love, but once again, because it's not a design, it hasn't been getting as much as it deserves. It's a weekend project.
Now, let me just finish this stitch. So I have both my Cerebels next week.
And also because I'm like half an inch or an inch away from having to start the decreases, it can't be worked on when I'm half distracted because I know that I'm going to have to start doing something interesting pretty soon.
I have this bad habit of leaving things out of my bags. There we go.
I usually do that with my notebooks.
My notebook there. Okay. My last one is one that I just barely started because it was a little more, it needed a little more focus than I thought when I started it. So in my Silver Shed USA Christmas Archimedes owl bag that Davina designed for me for Christmas, and she gave it to me, is my baby kimono project from the baby kimono sweater by Lion Brand. And I got this on
Not Lion Brand, Cascade.
Cascade. Why do I have Lion Brand?
I don't know. It's a Cascade's better.
Okay, it's Cascade. And I'm not really very far on this at all.
It's a free pattern. Cascades is awesome on Lovecraft. They have a ton of free patterns.
So you can see, and I may have to
Excuse me.
have to tink it back and see, what I'm doing. I really, and I'm not sure I'm going to do this at this point in time, but I felt like starting it. So we'll see what this is.
Yeah, I was surprised how excited you were about the pattern when I showed it to you.
So that stays in here. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, so I have two more.
Oh, so I was right.
You were, but I told you I could always double up at the end, and so that's what I'm doing now.
This time I'm going to finish my tea. I when after the podcast, I went to clean up my stuff, and I always finish my tea on the podcast, so I didn't think anything of it. I went to finish up, put the soap in, and realized I hadn't finished my tea.
And the sad thing is, it's one of your favorite teas. This is a lot better as it cools down. Do you want to taste? Okay.
Thank you. This one's starting to taste really good. I don't want to.
I can understand that. Sometimes the teas actually taste even better as they start to cool. So in my Plover Bird TARDIS Bigger on the Inside bag, this bag I did think about because I had my TARDIS Traveler, which was my blue Dobbinwood in here for so long. I had to remember this isn't the TARDIS Traveler bag. The TARDIS Traveler was the name of the Dobbinwood. This Dobbinwood is something called like Phoenix or something like that. Bonfire or something like that.
Yeah, Bonfire or something or other, because you copied the thing I had for my sock knitter shawl.
Okay, so one little front flap finished.
Yay!
That's been like that since a while. Only got a little bit of knitting done on the other front, but I did get some because I must have worked on it on Sunday. And honestly, if I work on it, it will go faster. Because it's not like I have it's not like my sweater that I'm currently knitting on, where it has long rows. They're shorter rows. And if I was just finish them, then I can cast on Mom's.
Okay.
My TARDIS bag won't know what to do if it's put in timeout for a little while in favor of the bag that's holding yours. Because it's held two successive Dobbinwoods.
Well, mine will be a Dobbinwood too.
I know, but I have a Dobbinwood. I was going to keep yours in the one that the other bag that was given to me. Although maybe I'll save that bag for design.
I have no idea what bag you're talking about.
The really pretty one, it was the open bag that we got.
Oh, the one I got from Knitter's Magic.
No,
not
that one. That one always has a project in it.
No, not
the same person who gave you the blue bag with the stars.
Oh, okay, Awesome Granny. Margaret.
Margaret, thank you. That's what I was trying to remember. Anyway, I was going to use Margaret's bag for that, but I'm thinking also I'm not sure if I want that open. So maybe I will use that for one of the baby blankets. Maybe I'll move the bunny one in there if it has enough room for the big yarn. Because it kind of I kind of feel bad for my TARDIS bag for it not having the final Dobbin wood. It's had 2 Dobbin woods in there. I feel like it should complete the sets. The bag's feelings will be hurt.
Yep, you will.
Mom gets it.
I get it.
We give our bags,
personify things.
Yeah, we personify things, and
It's part of being a writer.
we feel like we're gonna hurt the bag's feelings if it doesn't get the full set.
Okay.
But my final project didn't work a whole ton on this, partially because the seed stitch seemed to, when you know that you have to measure to a certain point, it seems that part, no matter
Never
what you're
gets
doing,
there.
it seems to take forever. I finally hit my required measurement for the seed stitch edging at the bottom, and this will be nice because it'll keep my sweater from curling on the bottom, because I don't
Right.
really like sweaters that curl on the bottom.
Right.
This is for my colorwork sweater. It's a tunic, and it's got a colorwork yoke at the top. So this is Cascade. No, wait. No, this is Shepherd's wool. I have had this. This is old stash. I love this blue. This is not the Puget Sound. This is something heather. Cascade has some really pretty heathered colors.
It does.
But yeah, I am now at an area of straight stockinette until I hit the color work. So this will become some nice mindless knitting for when I have a migraine, although it's kind of dark. But since it's stockinette, it doesn't matter if it's dark. I can feel through stockinette. It's not like it's ribbing or a seed stitch or something.
Well, ribbing at least you can see.
Not if I have a migraine and I have to have the lights out.
You can't feel it?
If you don't want to have that much effort when your head hurts.
Sure.
When your head hurts, all you want to do is have the lights low and not have to think about it.
I would think stockinette would be a pain for that.
Not in the
Garter.
round.
Garter would be, yeah.
In the round,
It's just garter
stockinette
stitch.
is just going knit, 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 knit.
Yeah.
Garter would be the other way.
Yeah.
So no, this is the simplest thing in the round. And even flat, if I know I'm purling the other direction, it's still not a problem. So, yes, that's it for that. Do you have any FOs?
Hold on, let me just get this.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to show for this. It's kind of just, here's my pretty,
I just want
almost
to get
sweater.
the stitch in here. I do have an FO, but actually you guys have seen this already.
So I'm going to let yours go first.
It was, what?
Ooh. I have an FO as well.
You guys have seen this already, and it just needed to have ends woven in, but because I finally wove in the ends, I think that I deserve a pat on the back.
I think you should,
show it to you again.
because it's been a while.
It has been a while. Let me just see here.
You didn't even remember making it.
Well, I forgot that it was still in the bag. It is in my...
I love finding projects that you didn't remember.
I do this all the time. Way It Shawl project in the Way It... but it's the Way It Shawl pattern by Susan B. Anderson, and it's Knitting's My Bag Owl Bag. And this is what it looks like. So I wove it in.
You see, I don't usually put projects I finished back in the bag, which
See,
is why that doesn't usually happen to me.
I don't think this is one we normally made.
I think that's either Yowza 1,
Yeah, I think this is
because
Yowza
Yowza
1.
2, I think, is the other one.
Ours was Yowza 3.
Ours is Yowza
Yeah.
3, and then I think Yowza 2 might have been the other one I made, the orange one that has a little bit more angles.
Right. So this one...
I think that's Yowza 1.
I think this might be Yowza 1, or if there's a 4, it might be Yowza 4.
I thought it was the first one.
It might be the first one. It's pretty, but it's a little too triangular for my taste. I think the Yowza, the one I made, is a little more crescent-y.
I think it is. I used to wear it all the time as a neckerchief.
Right. And that's the way I wear it, as a neckerchief. This one is really, it's good for that as well.
Yeah, I'm
So-
trying. I think the other one was a little more round. I can't remember for sure now, though.
It has really good coverage if you have a jacket or something. 'cause
yeah,
It goes
yeah.
almost to your belly button. So, depending on how...
It actually looked kind of cool if you had one of those jackets that, like one of those dress jackets.
Yeah.
That
It's a
they
little-
tend to be a little more open at the front.
It's a little heavy for that, but if you're a little more well endowed, it might be not quite as low. But it's really a pretty... I like this colorway. It's one of Miss Babs, and I forget what it was called. But, so that one is done, and now I can stick it in my
Yeah, I don't think I've used that colorway. So.
drawer or whatever. So this is now an empty bag.
Yay, empty bag.
Okay.
So this one has been in the works to be finished for a while. This is my Bunny Love cowl. The silver and... Let me make sure I have the right area facing.
Very pretty.
There's a heart in the middle.
Now, what color is this rodeo?
That's rodeo.
Okay.
The red is rodeo. And the silver is Mom's Silver Bells. So very happy to have this done. I put it on over my head, but I just have my hair where I'd like it, and I don't feel like catching my
Sticks.
my fork in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can put it up again fairly easily, but I don't feel like dealing with it. So and it's one of those ones that is fairly. Also, I'm running a little warm right now, but it's a nice close one for when it's cold.
Looks like they're mad at each other.
They're not mad.
Looks like they're mad at each other. Those two are together, but look at turn around here. They're facing opposite directions.
Oops. There, happy buddies.
That's too funny. Okay, so do you have anything else in FOs?
No, that's the only thought. I thought I would possibly finish the slippers, but I stopped working on them because I got design crazy.
Well, I have Prompt, which is the same as Needle Adjacent, and I don't know when or if I'll start this, but I found it when I was looking for something or other in my silver shed. No, my knitting's my bag. Sea turtle's bad.
I think it's a cute bag, even though I'm not a turtle.
Yeah. This is the author's wrap, and this was given to me by the author's friend. This was given to me by Vonnie, I think it was, a while back. And I started it and I had to pull it out. So I'm thinking about restarting it.
Because we think that she pulled it out, maybe she chose the yarn that was too dark, and that was before she had extra light in the other room.
Yeah, and it's still going to be in the same yarn because that's what I have.
But the light is better.
But the light is better. And this is Brava Bulky. I think Tanya gave it to me.
I did, because I was going to make a brown Jane Richmond sweater.
Right.
But for some reason, at that point, suddenly the yarn really bothered me.
And I have 4 skeins of this, so I really like this style of a wrap. It's, it's kind of nice.
And it should go fairly quickly because it's bulky.
It's bulky weight, and I don't think it's overly difficult. It takes US 13 9mm 24-inch circular needles. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing this. I know that I was really gung-ho about it when I got it. And I don't know if I made a mistake or what. So I'm just going to look it up again.
Do you need to make yourself a fresh copy?
Oh, I'm going to make a fresh copy.
Yeah.
Because this one's written all over. So, and I'm grateful for... I have a lot of people who are very sweet to me, especially as I was coming up knitting, who gave me patterns to challenge me and push me a little bit. Valeria's done it, Vonnie has done it, Talia's done it, Laura Concert has done it. Just people who, gave me things to push me along a little bit. And I'm sure there are other people that I've forgotten, and I apologize, but those are the ones that stick in my head at the moment.
Well, you've had a ton of people do that.
I have. I've had a ton of people who have done that. Heck, I had people when they were doing, they were really heavy when we first started about 8 or 9 years ago in, what was it called? Random Act of Kindness.
Right.
And people would give me, even though they knew I didn't knit, they would give me all these knitted patterns.
Well, the person I always think of, and I don't think I know she's not podcasting anymore. I'm not even sure how she is in the knitting community anymore because, life happened and...
You talking about Dawn?
No, I'm talking about Lauren, who gave you, every single one of her patterns.
She gave me...
She gave you all her toy patterns.
Yeah, she gave me all her toy patterns.
And because she used to do knit versions and crochet versions.
One of the few people who did.
Yeah, and she gave you all of her crochet patterns, which I thought was super sweet of her, especially since she really didn't know you.
No, she was sweet. She's a kindergarten teacher, or she's an elementary teacher.
I thought she was kindergarten. We aren't really in contact with her.
Yeah, I
think she was. She had the perfect personality.
She was, just perfect for a teacher like that. But anyway, that I have people who kind of challenge me, and most of my friends know me now. They know that I like to be challenged, but I can't be pushed because then I don't do it. I get nervous and I don't do it. But I have people who know how to challenge me correctly, and so they're very good at that.
Okay, so next, anything for graphic novel?
I had a graphic novel, but I sent it off. It was a nice little card that I ended up sending off. The recipient will get it when she gets it. because of the mail being the way it is.
Yes, because the mail is the mail.
So at the moment, and I know that they're doing the best they can do. It's just hard right now with all the stuff going on. I know Christmas is over, the elections are over, but people are buying things online in record amounts, and so I know that they're running ragged.
I'd love to see eventually, as you get more comfortable in your card making, maybe some of your cards occasionally showing up in your shop. Not as a made to order or anything, but just because you feel like it.
Maybe.
But yeah. Okay, so then for me, for beads and string, in my lovely, I think this has to be Michael's, because Michael's has the best boxes.
Michael's has the best boxes. We're usually Hobby Lobby people, but for boxes, Michael's hands down has the best boxes.
I don't care for Hobby Lobby's website. I think it's poorly set up.
I think most of those hobby websites that I've gone to, Michael's included, aren't the best.
Joann's is a bit better.
I haven't been to Joann's. So.
I tend to prefer Joann's online, but I still go to Michael's for boxes.
Love their boxes.
Because they just have the best boxes.
And they're always on sale, which is really nice.
And look, they have books.
I think I have like half a dozen or more of those boxes.
I do too. I keep my rosary stuff in them. And it's just like, if there's a sale in the boxes, I'm like, do I need a box? I think I need a box.
I have tea in there. I've got my knitting stuff is all in them over there. I've got all my prize stuff over here in 3 boxes, 4 boxes. I love the suitcase size.
And they're quality.
They are.
They aren't just pretty. They're quality. So if you ever need a pretty box, go to Michael's.
Yeah.
Michael's is the box king.
Yeah.
But that being said, finished 2 rosaries. Actually 3, but the other one was a special order and it's already off. Someone had ordered one of my migraine rosaries. This one's mine. So that went off to its recipient. I didn't just keep that in my pocket to show that to you. Sometimes when I have a migraine, I just like feeling it. Because it's nice and heavy.
I have mine in here for the same reason, because I was in a lot of pain today. And this is a smaller one. I might have her make me a bigger one later, but...
Yeah, I need to get bigger beads like that anyway for silver. I've been meaning to, for the stainless steel. I just haven't gotten around to it. One of the people who purchased Celeste, she said that she loves how it starts out cold and then warms up to your hand, just like what you've always said. And stainless steel is awesome that way. But this is not a stainless steel rosary here. This is what I call my long St. Joseph. So it's the Carpenter's rosary, but it's about the size of, for one thing, you can, if you really wanted to, wear it over your head because it's that long. But what it's even better for is it fits well, like if you want to hang it on a religious picture. It's the same size as the one you have hanging on the Jesus picture over there.
Oh, right, the one from...
Because I took a picture of it on there. I switched out the roses to take a picture and then switched them back again.
Right. We have several hang-on pictures. We have one that we picked up that has those big beads like this big. I mean, I'm not talking about the child beads that are bigger.
Not
I'm
the
talking
ones
about the great big ones over there. Someday I'll take it down from the picture and show you guys.
Yeah, I have one of the child size ones that have like the different color beads for each. I think it's for each decade.
It's not even. I don't even know if it's. Is it?
It might be every other.
Some of them are each decade, and some of them are like every other.
Yeah, I
bead.
can't remember what mine is, but mine's a child one. It's meant to say, honestly, it's a little dangerous to give a child.
I'm not sure.
I can see a child smacking another child.
Well,
with
I can see them choking themselves on it. I think maybe.
Well, it doesn't. It's not really good at twisting.
I think. But a baby can get their head through that.
Yeah.
I think that it's meant to be put on the wall and be colorful, and then as they get older, like toddlers or stuff, to carry to mass and stuff.
I'm gonna say like a toddler is going to smack their brother or sister with that. They're gonna be like, "Hi, Bap."
They're learning about the weapon that the rosary is.
Come here, I'm going to smack you with this religious object.
The sacramental.
Because the thing is, it's got some heft to it, you know? I'll have to show you what that looks like at some point. But I finished also a Pope John Paul II rosary. And this was actually quite a bit of fun to make because I like this cord. The red is a bit darker than I realized it was going to be. It's almost like Casca Amontillado red, Mom. So it has a Pope John Paul II centerpiece, and this is, like, you'll see him oftentimes kissing a crucifix in his pictures, and that's the style of crucifix, so it's the Pope John Paul II crucifix. And this is a nice stainless steel.
I think it's called the Pardon Crucifix, isn't it?
No, that's a different one.
It is?
Yes. Because I have Pardon Crucifixes. They're actually on the expensive end to pick up.
Right.
But I got a bunch of them on sale for my rosaries, because, yes. No, this is the papal. I don't know what papal is. It's the papal crucifix, also known as Pope John Paul II, because I guess each pope has their own, because Pope Francis has his own. But it's just a style thing.
Okay, so
Okay, but there you go.
my show notes have gone black. Let me
I think that leads us on to stash enhancement.
hold on. I'll tell you. Let's see here. Yes, royalties.
Well, I'll just do my one royalty that's not connected to anything. I finally finished my Saint box for Saint Gemma, who's one of the two migrant patron saints that I know of. I'm sure there's others. But the final thing the things I got in this box, this was an awesome box. I got a t-shirt.
And so you understand what she's talking about. It's called Saint of the Month.
Yes.
And you get it. I don't get involved with the clubs, but I usually end up getting the girls something either for Christmas or their birthday or both from them.
Yeah, you can it sounds like you can either do it on subscription basis.
You can do a subscription.
Or you can pick up the box of the saint that you want. And the older boxes aren't quite as good. Davina really enjoyed the one for Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, who is a saint was she Iroquois?
She was half Mohawk, I think it was, and half Algonquin.
Okay, maybe. I
think
can't
it was.
remember.
Her mother was one tribe, her father was another.
Right, because I think her mother was a captive initially. But Davina really loved her box. And I got St. Gemma's, and St. Gemma's is really excellent. I got a t-shirt in it. I got a book. I'm still reading it. It's Lord Teach Us to Pray.
It's a book that's so good that I want to get it. I'm hoping that my husband picks it up for me for my birthday.
Then it was a nice angel medal. It looks like St. Michael. The chain broke because I'm rough on things, so Davina's making it into a necklace for me with the pendant. And then this. It has a Serenity Prayer on it. It's a mug. This was the thing I was super excited about because I knew it had a mug in it. And of course, this was the last thing.
You don't have any mugs.
I need mugs. This will be my Sunday meditation mug, or my nighttime one, because it carries slightly less than my normal mug. And so it has Serenity Prayer on there, which for me, the Serenity Prayer has a special meaning. I used to write down Serenity Prayer every single day before I started my shift for years. I think it was only the last couple years. Once I moved to ICU, I think I had started to stop doing it. But for a good, 6 years or so, every single shift, I would write the Serenity Prayer on a sticky note and put it on my computer on wheels so I could see it as I was working. If I was lucky, I would be able to save it for several shifts in a row until
somebody else decided they wanted it.
Until people started taking that sticky note when I finished my shift. Sometimes they wouldn't even ask. They'd just be like, I'm taking that. I had 2 sticky notes. I had one that said, stop, take a deep breath, either give all to God or God has this. One of those 2 things. I can't remember which one it was. Too long. And then I had Serenity Prayer. And it got to the point where certain people, they'd be like, okay, they'd be listening to a report, and while they're listening to a report, they'd take my 2 sticky notes. No preamble, no can I have this? It was their sticky note for the day, apparently. They were making it very clear I wasn't getting to keep that.
Why didn't they just leave it on the machine and use your machine?
I think it was... I actually am not sure if they just wanted it on their notebook. I remember...
They could see it.
Yeah, a couple people doing that. Sometimes I'd have people go, I'm keeping these. But there was a couple people who would be like, nope, I've got this thing. Make it very clear I wasn't going to keep that.
Well, it helps.
So, the Serenity Prayer has a special meaning for me, even though it did make me giggle. The one person when I was working cardiology who asked if I was a recovering alcoholic, because this is
right.
also
that's kind of rude.
Sometimes patients don't have a filter.
Oh, a patient. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had patients say so many random
No,
rude
I'm
things
not worried
to
about
me.
patients who
Or it
give
might be a
away.
family member.
Yeah, it's kind of rude to ask something like that.
Yeah, well, I think that they were trying to connect because maybe they were, or they knew someone who was, and maybe that was something that they felt like they could have a connection with me then. So, a lot of times in those situations, you have a loved one in the hospital, or you're in the hospital, and you feel so vulnerable or disconnected. You're just looking for a way to connect to someone. And that might have been something that, oh great, she understands, I can connect to her on this. I might have been a bit of a letdown when I told them, no, I just really like this prayer.
Well, no, because still, that's something in common. And that's not just good for her. That's also something I've always had from like high school, college on. Serenity prayer. It was just, you know, just change the things you can, let God handle the rest. You know?
Yes, so I'm really happy to have this mug.
I love the line, the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes.
So it's just, you know. Okay. I have some things here. Let me show you the one that's not in common first.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. I had a catalog from Annie's come in. I'm not really sure how I got on there, but I got a catalog from Annie's. And I didn't realize how crochet heavy Annie's is. So that kind of made me happy. And I had a whole bunch of things that I put them in my cart, and I pared it down to 3 things. All of them are crochet that I picked up. I was going to throw this out, but I decided.
I'm glad you didn't, because then you'll crochet something that you don't feel like you need help with from me. Actually, you don't need help with from me, because in a lot of ways you are more advanced. I only do single crochet for the most part.
Let's see, what I got was, these are all digital that I got. Okay. And I've always loved gnomes, and they're in a craze right now, so.
I don't quite get the gnome craze. I'll be quite honest with
gnomes. It's a book of gnome patterns. I think there's 6 patterns.
If you make one, it needs to go in your gnome bag.
Yes. If I can fit it.
Why wouldn't you be able to fit it?
Because it takes more than 1 yarn. We'll have to see. But anyway, so there's that one, and then I picked up the pattern for, and these are all digital. I picked up a pattern for this sweater. This little short sleeve cardi. It's actually it's like all the way down to your elbows. This one right here. Okay, this.
Is your gnome bag a small bag? I thought it was a biggish bag.
Oh. It's kind of a medium size. And then I picked up a pattern for. Had a hard time finding this
symmetry. It must be a gnome in a gnome bag.
Trying to find.
It's like the only ornaments can go in my ornament bag. It just is.
Well, I'm not only going to put gnomes in that bag. I mean,
no, but if you're making a gnome, it needs to go in the gnome bag.
This is rug patterns. I use worsted weight yarn. So, and I had a whole bunch. I had this book I was going to throw it out, and I might still keep it somewhere until I get what I want.
I know I have I got a knitting one that was similar to that, and I keep meaning to look through it because it looks like it's some good patterns in there. I mean, I don't know why I look at patterns since I don't usually do that much. It's not mine.
I had this one about top-down beanies, but I think I don't really need that necessarily at this point. But like, I really like this, and this one up here that's kind of a split shawl, kind of like almost in some ways like the Dobbin wood.
Yeah, this looks kind of similar. It's got a little. It's a similar idea.
It's got
the
cut, the front and back and everything. So I have things in here. I'm not going to show you all of them because it takes too much time.
Do you need to make a quick trip?
I'll be all right.
Okay.
I might get up in a minute.
And then.
Do you have something to show?
I do not, but I can make a pause.
All right, why don't you do that?
Okay. So we'll be back. I'm going to pause this.
Back. Hello. So I showed you the catalog. We had a really nice, and I know Emma told me about this, and I forgot about it, so it was a surprise to receive it. Emma, her name is just Emma, right? It's not. She doesn't have a handle.
She does, I think, but it has Emma in there. So.
Yes. Okay. So Emma is one of our wonderful people in our PHN home group, our PHN. Patreons, everything.
Yeah.
And she has sent us some yarn support for you guys.
She told her not to show any of the...
Right. She
I do like a sticker, though.
Yeah. She told us to do whatever we wanted with it.
It's too pretty to...
But it's too pretty to... Let me just... I want to show her address. Or ours in particular. Necessarily. Those of you guys know where we are, but... Isn't that a pretty sticker? She always puts the prettiest things on the packages.
Yes, she does. So, and Emma, I know that I owe you a letter. I'm working on it slowly but surely.
Yep. The sticker says, she has a little butterfly sticker, and then it says, a little kindness goes a long way.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Now, show them the box before we, Like, she has this wrapped so pretty.
It's professional wrapping.
I know.
I love it.
Looks so nice. It looks like, one of those boxes that you get a box a month or something.
I always smile when I get things from people because they're so generous and they're so sweet to think of us. I'm always blown away when people think of us. Emma's make me smile even more because she
No, that makes it sound like it's a comparison.
no. It's I just want to say that everybody makes me smile.
Yes.
I appreciate everybody, but I do want to acknowledge that Emma has
Yeah.
something special in that she always puts these little notes or little stickers or something.
Yeah.
It makes it
Emma's
always
got a very,
whimsical.
yeah, like, and she has an eye for,
She's very artistic in that way.
yes, that's the word.
She's just a sweetheart. And like I said, that's not to downplay anybody. I just wanted to give her special mention.
Because she put out some special references.
She sent us this lovely card, which I'm not going to read, that her
Aunt or someone.
this card was painted then printed by her aunt. Okay?
So that's
Look at that.
her aunt does really nice work.
And I think it's watercolor. Isn't that beautiful? I just absolutely love it. We're not going to read the card to you. And it says Lady Doreen Fine Crafts.
I guess it's her aunt's.
I think that's part of her
art
aunt.
handle or
Maybe
whatever.
her aunt is Darine, Darine. I'm not sure. Lady Doreen Fine Crafts. So if you want to look it up to see what else she has, maybe she has something online. I don't know. They're in England, so I don't know. Anyway, she sent us prizes.
Can you turn it so they can see what it looks like before you, destroy the pretty?
I already showed them that.
Well, you should have covered.
So that's what we have.
It looks
These,
really
these
nice.
two cones, go
I'm gonna
together.
flip this the other way around because I feel like that's a better showing.
These two cones go together with a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, and then these two skeins of yarn will go together, and this one will go. Okay, so this is Louise Harding. Ooh, this is soft. Amatola. This is a subtle self-striping blend of wool and silk.
That explains the
Oh
soft.
my gosh!
I
And
wonder what the concentration of
Look
silk
at the
is.
color on that.
It's got a little bit of halo to it. I wonder what the
It does.
concentration of silk is. Well, it's a single ply, which also adds to soft.
Mm-hmm. It's really pretty.
Okay, so it's 80% wool, 20% silk. So I'm thinking it's, besides the fact that it's got silk in it, I think the single ply is helping with the softness.
Right. It's very, very nice. The colors are gorgeous. And this is 273 yards. I think this might be a worsted. It's a size 10 needle.
It might say on here. Hold on. Made in Italy. I've noticed that some of the Italian yarns I've tried in the past, because Yarn Box used to send me, not Yarn Box,
Scano?
no. Craftsy used
Right.
to send me random
Right.
gift boxes.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I got some, I still have some of the Italian yarn they sent me. And all the Italian yarn I ever received is really soft, and this is no different.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me, wait, let's see.
Well, it has US 10, so
So US 10 does suggest it might be, it suggests a heavier weight. Made in Italy.
it's got a good yardage for that.
So,
273 yards.
yeah. So we're not quite sure the weight. Maybe it's a DK. It's hard to tell when single ply.
Well, the thing with that is a DK would not use US 10s.
Yeah.
So it's a DK or worsted. It's beautiful, good amount of yardage. Just make a wonderful hat.
I'm sure if you guys Google, you can find out what the weight
And
is.
this is Louisa Harding as well, at Amatola, and these two will go together. And
Yeah,
this
they
looks
look like it's a little
fingering
bit of
sock, maybe.
Yeah, this is a smaller weight. Also single ply.
US 5 or 6. So I guess it's. See, I would say this is a fingering sock, but their needle size seems to indicate a DK.
Well, I'm wondering if they just go up. They probably it suggests a higher needle size for these simply because it is a single ply.
Maybe.
And they're trying to emphasize this is not for something that's hard wearing. This is
Right.
this is supposed to be floaty.
Right,
So
right.
like a shawl or this is not something you're gonna do it tight.
So these two will go together, and this one will be by itself. The green will be by itself.
So I
and
bet
then-
the green is a DK and these two are fingering.
Probably. And then this is Rowan denim lace, and we have two of these, but it goes with this lovely pattern. Wow, this is a substantial pattern here.
That is. I wonder if there's more than one pattern in there. That's quite a.
There might be.
That's quite a book in there.
Might just be more pictures.
No, there's let's see. There's pictures. It looks like there's several patterns in here.
So she sent this along, and it's a wonderful, wonderful. We have some really great patterns. I may have to go through and look at my patterns.
I think they're all meant for the lace, though.
Yes, they are.
So, guys, you're not just getting... Whoever gets this one is getting quite the deal. They get several options for this yarn. So they can look through and be
And this is 100 grams total. So it's a very, very
I have
nice.
some lace yarn that I should be able to throw in. Because you gave me some lace yarn that you didn't know what to do with.
This is a very, very nice, wonderful, generous package. Thank you so very much, Emma. We appreciate it. I know that the winners will appreciate it as well. Now, the next thing is a tea stash
Yes, we've
enhancement.
been waiting to tell you guys about this.
Yes. The tea company is Simpson and Vale because they do themes, okay?
And you've seen us drink Simpson Vale quite a bit.
Andy is our primary, but we like this as well.
Simpson Vale does the literary teas I like so much.
And I like the state parks. So this is Simpson and Vale. They sent me Rubio's Lemon Ginger Organic Tea as a sampler. And a little catalog.
I think you were a little concerned about how you would handle a lemon. Was that what it is?
No, I don't know why I didn't. I mean, I might still...
Yeah, because Rubio said it. This seems like Rubio said, and ginger. You usually really love,
I love
Rubios
lemon,
and ginger. So I'm not quite sure why you were concerned about it.
Let me see. We'll taste it together.
Yeah, because that seems like it'd be up your alley.
So
And there's enough for two people in
the
that.
this is the parks, the National Parks set. Okay.
Yes.
I called them because I said, "How much is in there?" Like, 1 or 2 cups. She said, "Oh no, these are full envelopes. Like this size, you're getting it like 7, 8 cups.
Yeah, it's a decent amount.
It's a lot." So I said, "Oh, okay, thank you very much." And so we ordered this. It's the National Parks. The reason we didn't open it beforehand is because we wanted
If your hand's fine, you don't need
to. Okay. So I might have to ask you for help with this part, but I was hoping not to tear it, so maybe Davina would want to use it.
Oh, for the paper.
But so this is the box.
Oh, look at the box.
This is the National Park Tea gift set. And what we were thinking of doing, I think there's 6 or 8 parks. So maybe once a month or so, we thought we would focus on one of these parks during our tea segment.
And they have several kit type things to do that with. Oh, look, it's all nicey and happy.
Okay. Oh, it smells good.
I'm kind of congested, so I can't smell anything.
It's got a little buffalo on here. Or bison.
And we thought maybe we'd look into the parks a little bit so we could talk a little bit about them.
the parks and the tea and all that kind of stuff. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. There's 7 parks. So we thought once a month we'd just go we'd take a journey to the state park.
Yeah, we're gonna be going on vacation with y'all, traveling.
We have. Well, maybe we just won't say what they are.
No, I think that you guys just need to know that we are going to be taking you
To the parks.
to the parks. What is it? Field trip.
Field trip. And I'm sure that
Anyone who's homeschooled,
will get that.
I mean, I know other people go on field trips, but honestly, if Mom and her best friend could make an excuse to make it a field trip, it became a field trip.
We were very talented that way.
I think that you guys knew how to make like a trip to the grocery store into a field trip.
I made a trip to the bathroom a field trip if I had to. I could do it. So this is, we were looking forward to showing you guys this. This is going to be hopefully, I'm not sure if it'll be next week or the week after that we start this.
Because we were
January.
talking like each one of us takes this, one of the part. We kind of split them.
This might start in February. It might start at the end of January. We haven't quite decided. But tell us what you think.
Yeah, we're
about
kind of
this.
excited about taking you guys on a journey with us.
We hope that you guys are as excited as we are about this. Let us know what you think. And yeah, that's that.
Put on your hiking shoes one of these weeks because we're going to be going to national parks.
Pat, are you excited? Pat is our national park person, loony hiker.
Oh, I didn't realize.
She goes all over the place. So she likes to hike and camp and all that kind of stuff. So hey, Pat, Are you up for this?
She
Okay.
could probably tell us about it then.
She probably could.
Because we haven't been to any of them in person.
Oh, I
right?
have.
Which ones have you been to?
Well, Shenandoah and Yosemite.
Oh, I guess I always forget Shenandoah is one.
Yellowstone.
I always forget Shenandoah is one. But I know I haven't been to any of the others.
I've been to a few of them because I've been to every state except
That's
Hawaii.
true.
So and we went to a few of the parks. Okay, so that's basically what we have for that.
And we could actually get in, I think it's either free or reduced price with the handicap.
If you could handle that.
Yeah, I can't.
So,
But it's good to know.
Good to know. Yes. Okay, so moving on because we're probably getting a tad long. That leads to autobiography about writing, that kind of stuff.
Right, let me take it. You go first. I need to take a drink.
Okay. I have been writing on the shared story. I do a little at a time, but I'm getting into where I'm going to have to start writing new to me material. So that's good. I'm excited about that. And then I have to tweak it a little bit with stuff that's going to be brand new. That's sitting at the end. And then I can hand it over to Talia. I can't believe it's taken me so long to do this, but it's just been a very strange year.
Well, I mean, life happens.
Yeah. Well, I want to get it to you before May rolls around.
When did I get it to you?
You got it to me about a year after you got it. You got it to me for Mother's Day. Actually, it was even more
Okay.
than that. So it was quite long because
I know I tried to finish it for either Mother's Day or your birthday. I can't remember which
it was
one.
Mother's Day.
Was it Mother's Day? Okay.
So
That's right. I wouldn't been able to handle your birthday because I was
No.
still,
recuperating.
yeah.
So you were just starting recuperation then. So I am working on the shared story. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for that.
Well, I wasn't just doing recuperation. I was back at work. I started end of
Not-
January. Yeah.
Okay.
They would because they weren't going to hold. There was a potential they wouldn't hold my job for me if I didn't go back at the end of January. So I went back at the end of January. So I couldn't have. I was too stressed between work and still trying to recover from neurosurgery.
Right. So I'm working on the shared story. Reading. I finished St. Joseph. I think I mentioned that last week. And I'm reading Leaning on Saints to Lean On, I think is what it's called.
That's a good book.
Yeah, and it really is a good book. And then I've got my Daily Prayer 2021 and Mother Teresa's book, and I'm almost finished with Claudia, wife of Pontius
Oh, I
Pilate.
thought you finished it.
Not that
Oh,
much.
okay.
Yeah, so that's a good book, and I may look in on our other books and see what she has, but right now I'm going to be going in after that. I think I'm going to go on one of Mary Magdalene. So, yeah.
So for me, I have, first of all, I've been doing the Great Courses Plus. I've been watching a series on Alexander the Great. And it's the same professor who did a series on the Vikings. So I do like him, even though I laugh at the way he says allies. He says allies. Apparently that is a pronunciation, not a very common one, but he's the only person I've heard say that. So whenever I hear allies, I'm like, ooh, it's the Viking professor. I like this professor. I have 2 or 3 that I really like. I have a couple ladies I really like. I like one who unfortunately I finished all the classes he's done. He usually focuses on ancient Rome. He sometimes gets dressed up in a toga and gets really into it. And then I like this guy for the Viking, and thankfully I have several of his lectures to do. So I'm doing his one on Alexander right now. Then I've been reading Queens of the Conquest by Alison Weir. Next month, she should be releasing the next one, which I had already prepaid for a while ago, which is, it's, I want to say, for the War of the Roses. I can't remember. It's after Queens of the Conquest. It might be actually covering slightly before War of the Roses. But, sorry guys. And I've been still reading Daily Prayer 2021, Flourish, which is our Bible study. Lord Teach Us to Pray by Father Jeffrey Kirby. That's the book I told you that I got with my St. box, which is awesome. I have started reading Walking with Mary by Edward Sri. He just has a really nice writing style. Very relaxing. He goes through the Bible and tries to see what we can figure out about Mary's life based on what the Bible tells us and based on like what history tells us about how people, particularly women's lives, might have been during that period of time. So it's an interesting biblical / historical study of Our Lady, because they're, the Bible's a little bit short on details in some areas, so he pulls as much as he can from what's there. And then, because I've been reading Queens of the Conquest, I'm currently in Stephen and Empress Matilda, aka Maud's, fight for the throne of England. Because of that, every time I read it,
Catfile.
I want to read Brother Catfile. But I can't start with my favorite one, which happens to be during that period of time. I'm going to first finish reading Morbid Taste for Bones, which is the first one. And then I get into my favorite one, which is set during that period of time. It's the one I read over and over again. And that's One Corpse Too Many. And that's where they introduce Hugh. And it's set... You have King Stephen even as a character in it. They actually do a really good job. She's... Ellis Peters is a she, right?
I think so.
Anyway, he, she... I don't know if it's... I feel
The
like
author.
It's the author. I feel like it's a she.
I feel like she is, but...
Anyway, Ellis Peters does a really good job of getting history right, getting voice right, getting time period right. Actually, I had a historical professor from Great Courses mention Brother Catfile Mysteries in particular as being particularly accurate, which is really important coming from a medievalist. So if a medievalist says that this author got it right, that means that that's your go-to for historical fiction. So yeah, this time I will go beyond like 3 books and maybe finish the series instead of... I usually finish like 1 or 2 past past One Corpse Too Many, and then I want to go back and read One Corpse Too Many because it's my favorite one.
They're good books. I've got the whole set. I haven't read the whole set, but I have the whole set.
Yeah, because I have certain pictures in my head from the books, even though I saw the TV show first. I can't watch a TV show now because I picture Hugh the way he is in the books. And the guy who plays Hugh in the show doesn't fit that description
But
in the
I
book.
do think Derek Jacobi is
Derek
good.
Jacobi is perfect.
He's spot
He's a
on.
great Catfile.
Yeah.
He's a great Catfile. And I do picture him for Catfile. He's a good Catfile. The guy for Hugh wasn't the best choice. He's a little bit old for the part.
But he's good.
And also he just doesn't fit the way the book describes him and the way I see Hugh in my head. So because Hugh isn't spot on, I can't watch it because Hugh's my favorite.
You have opinions. Anyway, I forgot to mention in my stash enhancements that I did pick up there's a free Bible study going on. It's a Catholic Bible study from Cardinal Studios, I believe, that it's free, but you can get the premium pass. It's on the scriptures, sacred scriptures, and it's free for the weekend of February, whatever it's doing. And a lot of these things that started during the pandemic because the conferences can't be in person, a lot of them give you a premium pass and lasts like 3 months or a year or whatever. And I have 2 that are lifetime. And I thought, I'm not going to do a lifetime pass for something that's only a year because I don't know if I'll get to it. Well, this particular one is a lifetime pass.
Instead of just a year.
Instead of the year. And so I went ahead and picked that up. It was on discount. It's on discount for a limited amount of time. And because it's the year of sacred scripture for our Pauline family, I thought, okay, this is good. So now I have Theology of the Body, Sacred Scripture, and the Eucharist, all lifetime passes. And so I don't really need to get anything else. I can just do the free ones as they go.
Right.
But now I have kind of a good mixture. The only one I'm looking for now is if they have one on Mary. So that's, I forgot to mention that. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at for that.
For me, I know I'm going to be reading more probably. I still be listening to Great Courses because that's what I do. But I'm also going to... I found one of my old Kindles, woke it up, got it to recharge enough so I can use it. So what I've been doing is I'll have a book open in one Kindle and the other Kindle I'll be working off of my color work pattern so I can knit and read at the same time.
Right.
So it makes me very happy.
I can't read while I'm knitting or crocheting. That's when I listen to either the religious podcasts or the crafting podcasts. I don't have a lot of time to do anything but those 2 podcasts. I'd love to do some history or some science, but right now I don't have that time.
Well, usually that's why sometimes if I'm by myself in the kitchen, I'm just bustling around, then someone comes in and talks to me, I have to quickly pause. Because what's happening is if no one's with me, I'm listening to history.
Well, I need some quiet. You have to have some quiet
I do,
time.
and I have had some quiet
You know,
time, particularly if I'm not feeling well. I need
Yeah,
quiet time.
I have to, and I'm working at adding more quiet time. There's just too much noise everywhere, and I get really stressed out if there's too much noise. I need to have quiet. So, and I'm not doing a good job of getting quiet sometimes, so I need to work on that.
Sometimes life circumstances don't promote quiet, and you have to make your own quiet.
Well,
Interior quiet?
it's hard to get interior quiet when so many things are going around and doing things you have to do. So,
I feel like Mother Teresa might have had a saying about being quiet, having
Internally.
quiet internally while even while you're busy like helping people and stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, like she's Mother Teresa.
I love Mother Teresa. She had her readings for the last couple of days have been really good.
I thought that you find
Yeah.
her because she's like the ultimate caregiver.
Yeah, she is, and she in fact the nun I mentioned earlier with the clinic thing, she mentioned some stuff with I guess the founder of their order or whatever, talking to Mother Teresa about stuff and how she had changed his life. So it was really neat.
Well, I mean, Mother Teresa. I think most everyone can agree that Mother Teresa's awesome.
Yes. Okay.
Catholic or non-Catholic, she's like one of those icons.
Yeah. Well, she's a
of
saint.
our time.
She's like a saint like Francis and Therese and Anthony and stuff like that. So.
I
okay.
mean, even people who are not Catholic will say like someone who's a really good person is like a Mother Teresa.
Right. Well, those saints I mentioned,
Yeah.
even non-Catholics like them. You know, John Paul II. You know, just Okay. So anyway,
because people we know who said as much. That sounds like generalization, but
yeah, we're talking about people that we know who aren't Catholic who still think they were important people, good people. So, okay.
Anywho,
Moving on to shop.
right. So shop-wise, I did release. Well, release sounds wrong. I put up a couple more listings. The two rosaries you saw in the box. Also, Mom's. She showed it briefly. Her Holy Family rosary. I wasn't able to put it up sooner because it's been finished for many, many months. It was one of the first rosaries I created. Then I recreated it because I wanted to fix the knots. As it turned out, I should have kept it the way it was originally because she likes to move her beads a little bit more, and because I made it tighter, the rosary snapped.
Stay in my rosary and boop all over the floor.
Mom pulls at her beads, and she needed a little more space. So I put it back to where it was originally and fixed that for her. And now, that being said, I've used my rosaries for a very long time. I've never had one snap.
It's not the workmanship. I just needed to be able to move my beads a little bit. So.
Now, you can see I made these tight, and they eventually loosened on their own, which is what I expected yours to do.
And some of the beads are looser than others.
Well, yeah, and that's going to happen just with, like, for example, the ones on the end are going to feel looser if I make them loose than the ones up here because this is naturally going to tighten it when it bends because that loose area is taken up with this there.
But, so I...
But I listed Mom's. I couldn't list it earlier because I was afraid she'd purchase it before she got it for a gift. So, that is her Holy Family Rosary.
And then she also fixed, because it was fraying, because of the way she had the lobster clasp.
And if you find that if you've purchased a rosary from me and it's breaking, fraying, whatever, I do have something on my shop that if you purchased a rosary for me, I will repair it for you if you have most of the pieces. Like, I think I say like 80% or something like that of the pieces. And are willing to pay, if you pay for shipping, I will fix it for you and then send it back to you.
See, she fixed this for me. I now have a little magnet here. And right now, I'm going to keep it, but I may have her put another lobster clasp on it so I can hook it to the ring on the metal. But right now it's okay because yesterday I lost it a couple times in my sleeve, so I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
And so, but it works pretty well. So
I was just pulling at it, so that's why it came undone. So I mean, it's a work in progress. I know Davina picked up. I picked up for Davina some magnets, and I want to see how strong those are too. I was meaning to get some for myself, but I'm trying to. Well, actually, Grandpa sent me some money for Christmas for my birthday. Maybe I'll pick up some of those magnets for that money.
Yeah, whatever you think you can.
Because that might be nice to. It won't have the pretty roses on, but I need to see how strong Davina's are.
Right.
I'll ask her if I can play with hers.
I know that I gave Davina, I had an owl pendant that's been sitting with my stitch markers for whatever reason. And it's not the best owl pendant, but it's a nice owl pendant. It's about this big. And I gave it to Davina in the hopes that she might make me something for my birthday.
Manipulative.
No, I said, can you make me something with this?
No, yes.
You know, so it's just, we'll see if she actually does. She might.
Well, she said she wanted to make sure it wasn't a rush.
Right, I told her it wasn't a rush. I told
Just
her.
like I did for my St. Michael one.
I didn't, you know.
My only request is she made it blue because all my blue necklaces are Batman necklaces, so I had none that I could wear like with nice clothes.
I think the one I gave her would be really pretty with like black and white beads.
Ooh, she
Yeah.
might just use her like a nice, well, similar to what she did before, or she has so many pretty beads now,
She does.
and her tastes have
Has
definitely
matured, yeah.
refined and matured. So it's not always like big and gaudy. Oh, I'm wearing one for necklaces. Forgot my show off. This is one of my flash ones, and even though this is definitely a geek one, it's one of my favorites. I love the beads on this, and if I really wanted to, I could flip it around to the other side and just have you've got to forge ahead, keep moving, and people wouldn't know that that's a geek necklace. If I really wanted to.
Right.
Right now, because I'm not going anywhere fancy or whatever, I can have flash in the front. But if I really wanted to, I could flip it around and no one would know. It'd just be like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I love the beads on this. They're kind of uneven. They're just like different shapes. But
Little pebbles.
yeah, they're like pebbles, but they're meant to be that way. So I really love. Now there's also
They reminded like pieces of corn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now she didn't have enough when I needed her lengthen it, so I had a necklace that she had made too long with really pretty red pearl-like beads. So I asked if she could lengthen it with that, and she did, and it's perfect. There we go.
She gets all excited. She gets to feel important, and she is important. Yeah, we don't do jewelry. She does. Okay.
I think for a while she was maybe getting a little bit stressed because I kept having to give her necklaces to fix. I have another one that broke that I need to get back to before she was double stranding.
Yeah, her stuff is well made, but she was trial and error when she first started.
Just like all of us.
Single stranding. My shop, I have a whole bunch of yarn that's sitting on the front table there that I haven't reskeined yet. I have some, if it's not a horse, it might be a zebra. I've got a full-size fade set. I guess that's what you call it when you have the different, it's a neutral fade. It's kind of the cool colors. I made to order one for, excuse me, I think it was for Stephanie that I made it. Are you going to stop?
Reference.
I know, but I'm trying to talk.
Okay, I love you.
Me too. It's a fade set of 5 skeins of kind of neutral, cool colors, like kind of gray, blue, green, blues, and things like that. So that's going to go up, and then that's the one I was telling you that the 2 kind of greenish skeins. I'm still trying to figure out which is which. I can redo them, but if I put it in the fade, I may not have to name them necessarily. So it might be
Right, and in the future you'll just not dye them at the same time.
right. And then I have a DK weight also in the Bleak Midwinter, and it's a darker in the Bleak Midwinter, and in one of those 2 greens that I'm not sure what it is, but I can redo it. Given, if I can redo it and just I have to figure out which one is which, and I think I know what it is, but I don't want to be
Guessing.
guessing about it. So those are all going to go up in the shop. There's nothing wrong with them. They're perfectly good skeins. They're full skeins. They look beautiful. It's just that I don't want to give you the wrong information if you say, oh, can you make me another one?
Right, exactly.
So,
You want to know what you're making.
yeah. So and that'll be going up in the shop pretty soon. So
Are you going to be putting up? If it's a horse, it's not. If it's not a.
I did mention that.
Did you? Okay, I was.
Uh-huh.
I think I was focused on my knitting.
I have a full skein of that, and I have a slightly shorter skein of that as well. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to put them together or if I'll put them separately and just knock off a little of the
shorter
price
one.
for the short skein. Okay, and it's not a whole lot of a short skein; it's just a little bit. So
Right, because it was you couldn't save from the zebra. Okay, so that's shop news. I guess it's on to thank yous.
Yeah, before we go into any personals, we're going to thank the people who commented on YouTube and or the PHN home. I think I responded to everybody except maybe Allison. Allison, I saw you just before we got on the podcast, so I didn't have a chance to say anything. Thank you for commenting.
Thank you for the nice comment about Pom Pup.
So we want to thank Looney Hiker, Steph, Wendy MacGyver, Cynthia, Barbara, Paula, Pat, Stephanie, Christina, Meditative Crafter, and Allison. And if anybody else commented on either place and I didn't see you, I apologize. We are very appreciative of all your comments, and we always like to hear from you. Now, I don't think we have a whole lot of personal, but if you don't want to stay for it.
Also, just want to FYI, we might be covering some of the recipes that I just cooked in personal.
So,
Just if you are interested in that, I'll try to do recipes at the beginning if it, of the personal side. Then if we do end up talking a little bit of health, you can bug out after recipes. Because some people might be interested in recipes and not in anything else.
Right. So we might have to stick recipes in ahead of all this
Right,
stuff.
because I have been trying a lot of recipes. I mean, I could do recipes now before we move on to personal.
Well,
what do you think?
just, I don't care.
Okay, I'll just say some recipes and then some recipe stuff. So we talked about the blueberry gluten-free, dairy-free last week. We tried it with cherry and blueberry. We didn't like that quite as much. Strawberry is actually really good with it.
I haven't had it. I just tasted the
I should
little
let
bit
you
of batter.
have one. It's a little bit more caloric for some reason, and I can't figure out why. Because it's like it weighed. I'm wondering if because blueberries end up being.
I think they shrivel a little more.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that it's just less. It ends up being less expensive
Somehow.
even though blueberries are technically more caloric than strawberries. I think maybe you get more strawberries for your batter. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Anyway, the strawberries are a little bit more expensive, but they are really good. And then also we prepped. Or mom did help me some, but I prepped with the potato lasagna. I think you helped me get it prepared to go in the freezer because I wasn't quite sure how to put the casserole in the freezer. It's a gluten-free, dairy-free recipe that doesn't use any substitute stuff. So it's just like potato and salsa and sausage. No, it's not salsa. It's sauce.
Marinara sauce.
Yeah, marinara sauce. It's potato, sauce, sausage, and like seasonings. And that's it. That's the
I think we should put
casserole.
spinach in that.
I think spinach. We didn't want to try spinach the first time
You could put spinach and non-dairy cheese in there if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Spinach, yeah.
We figured first time let's try it the way it's made. Next time I'm also going to try bigger potatoes because cutting all those potatoes for
Those
layers.
little fingering potatoes, like what I use when I make my roasted potatoes in oil and salt and pepper. That's what I like to use for those.
Yeah, but it's a little bit much when you have to cut them to make a layer. So that's sitting in the freezer. That's a recipe that's very nicely. It's a free recipe. It's from Yumly, or Yumly sent me to the place to get it. It says you can prep it beforehand and freeze it and then just thaw it before you're ready to cook it, which is great to have one you can do that for, because sometimes I have days where I just can't think about making something, but I want a nice meal that I made myself, because when I have a little more energy, I actually really do enjoy cooking. Even though if I push it, I drive myself into exhaustion, which I did this week. The other thing I cooked was a Mexican casserole, and that has Tostitos, it has ground meat, my fake cheese. It wasn't supposed to have fake cheese, it was supposed to have real cheese. My fake cheese, let me think. Oh, salsa, green onions, and tomatoes. The green onions and tomatoes were cut as fine as I can get them. And then, spices. And all that thrown into a casserole. And it is pretty good. I don't like it quite as much as my enchilada casserole, but it's good. So that's in the fridge right now. Actually, probably should go downstairs.
Probably should if we want. I made cupcakes that right now are sitting in our cold back room.
The reason why I didn't go downstairs is I haven't had the ability to go down myself, and I
Right.
kept forgetting to ask Davina to take it down for
Well,
me.
I made cupcakes last night for Talia's birthday because we're celebrating on Monday. Her birthday's Tuesday, but we're celebrating on Monday because Mike is home. And I made gluten-free, dairy-free strawberry cupcakes with
With a strawberry.
buttercream frosting
You had a lot left over.
of the frosting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad getting rid of it.
It was
but
so good.
very light, even though it had like 3 cups of powdered sugar in it.
And it's from the Everything Gluten-Free, Dairy-Free cookbook, just like my blueberry muffins are.
I made buttermilk with almond milk and vinegar. So that was interesting. I when I saw it, because it had been sitting a little bit, I stirred it up a little because it was kind of...
That's the same thing they had me do for the buttermilk biscuits. The ones that, careful, or they'll end up
Flat
hard biscuits.
Flat, like hockey pots. Flat, hard biscuits. Yes. So it looks like they turned out well. I think in the future I might fill them up a little more and not go for the 24. Go for maybe 18.
So you have bigger ones.
So we have a little bit bigger ones. But
Well, we can have a couple.
we're going to eat 2 or 3 of them. So,
Right, because it's my
they're
birthday.
little. They're little ones.
And they're little. And they're actually fairly... Now, granted, she lies about her calories. She doesn't lie about her calories.
She's mistaken.
She is mistaken about her calories. I don't know what she uses for her ingredients. I think she uses air.
Yeah, she so we have... Daddy said to me, my husband said, you can do the jumbo ones? Well, maybe I will next time.
We wanted to make sure, because part of the concern with gluten-free items is they tend to get dry. And this is part of why I was afraid of making a big recipe into something different. It changes,
But that wouldn't be a problem.
No, I was afraid of making maybe smaller ones into bigger, whatever.
It wouldn't be a problem. I've done stuff with the gluten-free, dairy-free pineapple upside down cake and with my pumpkin bread.
Yeah.
So it should be fine.
Gluten-free does tend to be drier, though.
It does, but it hasn't affected either the
Yeah.
The pumpkin bread or the
I
pineapple.
wonder if it
upside down.
depends on the recipe.
It might, but you have that you have enough butter in it and you have enough of that puree in it that it should be fine. And if it is, we would try it one time, and if it's a little dry, then we just don't
Yeah.
do it again.
But we do want to eventually try, and I'm hoping we figured out why some of the breads don't work when Dad tries to transfer them to gluten-free for the bread machine. It's because they can't have that second kneading. You have to hit the bread machine or the gluten-free option, so it only does one kneading, and apparently that helps it become nice and happy instead of a hard rock.
It might keep some of more of the elasticity that way
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So instead of making it so that it's not stretchy anymore.
Yeah, so we're still learning with gluten-free, dairy-free. We're finding options. You said Dad found a...
My husband found for my birthday, he used to make me oh gosh, I'm going to miss the pot pie. I can't have the pot pie because it's just too difficult and too caloric. So I'm not going to have the pot pie. He's going to make me clam chowder and egg bread. But he did find a substitute for the apple pie. He gave me 3 different ones to choose from just based on the looks. The first one I didn't like anyway. He said that one was very heavy caloric and it had all kinds of weird ingredients and stuff like that. So that was a no-brainer. The second one is the one we're going with, and it's about 200 calories less per piece, give or take. And it looks like it'll be good. The third one, which I also liked, was more than my pie.
Wow.
My husband makes the most amazing
He says
caramel
really good.
apple pie, and the calories were such that we couldn't justify it.
Let's put it this way. I don't like pie crust. He makes good pie crust.
My husband does the pie crust in the family, and he makes an amazing apple pie, and he went looking for options for me because I was going to go with an angel food cake, which I used to do, but I really wanted my apple pie, and he saw how disappointed I was, and he found some options for me, so now I can continue to have my apple pie the 2 times a year that I have it, which is my birthday in January and Mother's Day in May. So it kind of puts it at opposite ends, and
Yeah.
and I can find apple crumble or something to tide me over for my apple stuff, later. But I thought that was really nice of him. It was kind of an early birthday gift that he found for me, so that was really sweet of him.
And I also forgot to mention another thing that I made. The egg and meat casserole.
Right.
That was this
right.
week. We just finished it early.
No, it was last week.
Was it last week? No, I think we finished it this week. We had it early in the week. We had it Monday.
Okay. I don't know. The days blend.
I made an egg and ground meat casserole.
And spinach.
The big deal about it was the spinach because you just throw handfuls of spinach in there and it's supposed to wilt.
Mm-hmm.
So it means like if your spinach is slightly
Starting to
wilty,
get a little wilty, yeah.
it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So made that and Dad really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So
We all did.
Yeah, I think it's going to become one that it's easy to make.
And surprisingly heavy.
Yes, it is.
Low, low calorie,
Yeah.
heavy. It was really good. Even Davina ate it.
Yeah,
You know,
she tolerated it.
she tolerated it, but I told her she was going to eat it, so she ate it.
She's a bit of a picky eater.
Yeah.
But
So that's that. I don't think we really have much more in the way of personal.
No,
we
not
didn't
really.
do. Yeah, we're going into personal
We're going
now.
to personal now. We just figured that there are people who actually might want to hear recipe stuff without
Well,
having
we'll
to go
have to put it in.
personal.
We'll have to put it in
Yeah.
before the goodbyes and stuff.
We'll have to
the
figure out
recipes.
what recipe will be called.
Yeah, I have an idea. So
Okay, goody.
We'll figure it out. It's kind of niggling at the end of my brain. So, anyway, if you don't want to hear what little personal stuff we might have left, we will say goodbye. We're glad to have you here for the Fun in the Woman Cave, and we hope to see you back next week. We'll give you a couple minutes to leave, a couple seconds to leave. And, okay, so that's it. I don't know how much we have really.
Just a little bit. Something I want to cover that some of our chronic illness people are going to probably go, yep, that makes sense. I got reminded again this week about how just because I feel good for a little bit of period of time doesn't mean that I can push to the nth degree. And honestly, I should have learned that from last week when I did this, where I felt well, pushed things to the nth degree, and then like crashed Thursday and I think it was Friday too.
Well, I think the thing you have to remember is that even though this is chronic illness, it's more pronounced. That's
Yeah.
true of anybody.
Yeah.
If you push and you don't have the reserves and you keep pushing, you're going to crash. So,
And I always had the bad tendency. I think this is very common for us chronic illness, where it's just like it's almost like this wishful thinking kind of like, oh, I'm okay, and I'm just gonna push because you never know when the migraine day is gonna happen, the bad day is gonna happen. So, and I mentioned this last week, where you just push and you push and you push, and then you cause that thing which you were trying to
avoid.
So, I did that pushing this week, and at the end of my pushing also came weather. So I ended up throwing myself not only into a flare, but when I get flares, I also get emotional. So it ended up being an emotional reaction. Plus, I started spiraling with some symptoms right at the end of all my cooking stuff. So because I decided to cook 3 things in one day because I felt like I could, and the oven was on already. Darn it! So. Eventually I will learn. I am now trying to set limits for myself where from this time to this time, so like in the evening after about 5 o'clock, other than therapy, I am in my room and I'm relaxing. And I'm just going to try to not just push that envelope like I've been doing.
I mean, occasionally she might cook something, but it won't be 3 meals.
No, and it also won't be all the time, where I have been for the past, actually it's been since Christmas, I've been sitting out here all day long. Well, maybe not since Christmas, because I had since January 1st. Because all December I was out not feeling well. So since January 1st, I've been spending all my time out of my room and then wondering why I crashed by Thursday.
Well, she has to put some limits on it. It's good that she stays here in the morning and then she sits back here with me. She has the option to sit back here with me until about 4 or 4:30. And we eat. No, we don't eat. We go for our... What do we do first?
Usually you walk first.
Before we eat.
Yes.
So when we start getting ready to do that kind of stuff, Talia goes back in her room. She might join us for dinner. And then she goes back in her room until it's time for PT. If she's not feeling well, the afternoon together might not happen. But generally it does, at least for a little while.
Right, and it's not that we're necessarily even talking to each other. A lot of times we aren't. It's just that I don't fall asleep in my room.
Sometimes I'm going to have to maybe look into getting another desk lamp that's a little brighter, because if she's in here, I can't see what I'm doing for when I do checkbooks and things like that. So, but also a lot of times I'm just I'm in the kitchen, maybe I'm cleaning, maybe I'm yarn dyeing, maybe I'm doing something else out of the room, and she's in here just staying awake.
Right, because
So-
it's a little easier to stay awake when I'm not on my bed. But I still need to plan in the time for my rest time, which I've not been very good about. I'm a very much all or nothing type person, and it's biting me in the rear.
You can say stubborn. Everybody knows it.
I don't do very well with moderation.
Mm-mm.
So I'm trying to remember that just because I have a few good days doesn't mean that I can do all the things. I'll remember that for like a week. Then I'll forget again.
And I really don't have a lot to say for personal stuff. I don't. I just,
My migraine seized up. Medicine's kicked in.
yeah, I can see that. So that's about all we have, I guess. I mean, it's not a whole lot to talk about other that's
Yeah.
life oriented. We'll be back here again next week, which is I think the 23rd.
Doctors tweaked some of my meds because they like the effects that they're doing, so they just increased it a little bit.
So we want to wish you all a very blessed week full of knitting, crocheting, crafting, whatever it is that makes your heart happy. And we hope to see you back here again for the Fun in the Woman Cave next week. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 437, and that's a wrap.
Bye.